Champions, welcome. The squares have aligned and bingo is nigh. It's time for Elden Squares Season 3. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, we have a team of hitless runners and bingo champions in the lower divisions who are looking to claim their title in the top division. Their primary DLC player is a man who is an OG of bingo, but he left because he has crippling ADHD and can't do the same thing for too long, i.e. his character spinning in circles over and over right now. He is the champion of the Rookie Rumble. It is none other than Lemon, the Spectator, and his teammate. One of the best hitless runners in the world. This man has done every hitless run that you can imagine. His talent is unmatched, and he has taken that into the bingo world as he is the champion of the Crucible. It is none other than Cronies, Mr. Hitless. And now their opponents, the team of speed demons from France who are taking the bingo world by storm. This team has made one of the most impressive bingo performances we've ever seen. Can they do it again today? Their primary DLC player is a man who has conquered the realm of speed. He dominates the land of shadow. He is a master of the hippo and the lion. It is none other than Typin and his teammate. Someone who wields Death's poker like Harry Potter's wand. He will evaporate bosses before they even show up on screen. He will do skips that you can't even imagine. It is none other than Iron. Now let's get ready to run that board and square off. Yo, I didn't fuck it up. We're actually good. Let's go. That's huge.
Living the best life.
Alright, now I really can't fuck up the board and have to like reset it for whatever reason.
Yeah, that's not allowed.
Yeah, I'm like triple checking right now. Alright, we're good. Okay, here we go. Ellie, center square.
I'm gonna say like I did last time. I think it's gonna be Rolana.
I will go for Melania, obviously. Estelle is the center square, so that's just an Estelle boss. So you can either do Stars of Darkness or Remembrance Estelle. I'll take a look at this board and lead you guys through some of the more exciting squares, the bigger fights, and then Ellie will give you the important technical analysis. Top left corner, Misbegotten Crusader. That's potentially an option for a rush square. Haven't seen it too often. But if you're really good at the fight, you can get it done early and get a lot of money. So it's a good opener. Remembrance boss, Dagger's Fists. I expect that we will see a DLC rush on this board. As currently looking at the board, there are 10 DLC squares, I believe I'm counting correctly. Normally that's enough to do that kind of rush, but also you might want to claim a square on your way into the DLC. So if you could do Godric with a dagger or fist, that would be very strong. In the second row, obviously none other than the main man, Bale the Dread, also with Egon's Furled Finger on that same diagonal. So that's a really strong synergy there. Then in the middle row, we have Lord bosses there. A lot of options potentially could see will into existence a Moog Lord of Blood. That probably will not happen, but it is possible. We have that Dancing Lion there, Round Table Knight Vike, Commander Nile. I know that is a favorite square of Cronies. It looks like a pretty interesting board overall. Seems pretty balanced with Big Bad Bale probably coming down at the end. But I'd be curious, Ellie, what's your take on the board?
This board is surprisingly dangerous for the base game player because, you mentioned Moog, but Moog because of how, so just for folks need to know, for underground bosses as a category count for bosses that the map shifts between the overworld and the underground world. So Moog, if I understand, and Estelle both count. So you actually have some potential to do some pretty sneaky ways to get in to combine those three squares. For DLC, I think Stealth is obviously insane. Having the Bale and Egon's full finger on the same diag with cookbooks on an additional diag adjacent square is very powerful. And I actually think with Ghost Flame Dragons 2, yeah, I think this is a stealth game. I don't even know if I care about 3 hippos. And you actually don't need to go back section at all. So, yeah, this is a very, very scary DLC board. And I think because you don't want to do any of these kills, unless you were pushing cookbooks, my guess is people are going to go forges for Legendary Spirit Ash synergy as well. Because again, while it looks like a light board, Legendary Spirit Ashes, Lord bosses, maybe unlikely, are also DLC squares. And I don't think the any of our players had a fist or weapon dagger worth using. So I don't actually think we're going to see that top right square rushed. This weapon seed is insane. It's Great Katana and Omen Killer Cleaver. I don't know how we run these seeds sometimes, but that's kind of crazy.
And
insanely good weapons.
Just to give everyone a quick rundown here. So first off, if you were confused, when Ellie's saying south, that means past ADM. If anyone's not familiar with the terminology, and I want to do a quick explanation of the format here in case anyone is new, particularly people who are supporting Bagarre FR. Essentially, the way that it works, this is base game plus DLC bingo. Everyone starts in the base game and it is a progression-based format. You have unlocked graces before Altus at the start of the game. And then once you get Altus access via Makar, Virgins, or Dectus, you will unlock post Altus graces. Additionally, in order to get into the DLC, you need to kill 2 remembrance bosses. Any 2 will do. You could do Estelle and Melania, or more commonly, we see Godric Renala rushed, as that is the fastest route. One final thing of note, the game is called Bingo, but bingo lines do not win in this. They are of value though, because they are 2 extra points, and in such a competitive league, if one team bingos and the other team does not, game, you're probably not going to win that one. The winning team will be the first team to 13 points. Each square is worth 1 point, and then again, those 2 additional for the bingo. If you have any questions, please let us know. We have a lot of players in the league in chat. They can answer your questions if we cannot get to them on commentary right away, and we will go ahead and get started.
I was gonna say one thing I mentioned back section, so appreciate the clarification on south. I sometimes kind of get accustomed just to talking as I talk, but back section. So when we look at DLC, a very important decision that we need to make as players is: do we go through Shadow Keep, Mesmer's Home, through the front side, i.e., killing Hippo, or back side or back section, running past Ymir as Cathedral and going there? Is a really important decision, and it's ultimately most often you don't want to have to do both, as it's a lot of time to cover very little ground, but some things can't be accessed in back section or front side, sorry. So if we had Gaius or Shadow Tree Avatar, you could not access those if you killed Hippo on the front side of Shadow Keep. You would have to go back section. On this board, there is no reason to go back section at all, except for Beloved Stardust, which is kind of a pain in the ass because you don't want to do that run for 1 square. Beloved Stardust is a square I'm going to guess that we'll see players in this game try and push their team, their opponents to do, which is why I think underground bosses with Estelle and Moog actually may be a real opener. And we know that both Iron and Cronies are more than capable to do very quick rushes into those more difficult bosses like Estelle and Moog Lord of Blood. So, and with their weapons too, Omen Killer Cleaver, I don't see any issue with that. Although Iron is not running Omen Killer Cleaver. What weapon is he running?
He's actually running Moonveil.
What?
I mean, I'm surprised.
I'm excited to see how this goes for him, but I am genuinely surprised.
Because Omen Killer Cleaver and Great Katana in competitive formats, right? There are certain weapons that, when I think about what are the best weapons for like comp stuff, whether it be rando or bingo, etc. And one thing to note about comp stuff, particularly, obviously it depends on the format. but for the most part, A, weapon recs matter, and B, is that, oh, what was my other point? Shit, I lost it. B, just certain weapons are good regardless, right? And when I talk about the absolute best smithing weapons in particular in the game, Starfish, Omen Killer Cleaver are 1 and 2. You could even argue Omen Killer Cleaver is better than Starfish due to the fact that Starfish have a very obvious weakness on NPCs. And then for me personally, I'd say Great Katana's 3rd, right? So you could argue those, I think, but 2 of the 3 best smithing weapons in the game, right? And very interesting by Iron here to not pick it, but particularly if you are eyeing a route that requires somber upgrades, I think that would be the justification here.
Makar is faster with somber because you go 1-2, you grab the 4 on the way past, and we saw them do this, right? You grab the 4, you grab, I think actually int tier would be good for him because
he did grab int tier, yes.
Yeah, of course, then you grab the somber 4 and you run through Makar. That is faster than smithing. Like you can see the difference between cronies and iron, and the only difference between these 2 players is cronies had to grab smithing stones for the most part, and iron has not had to grab those 1s, 2s, and 3s. And there's like, I think the thing that confuses me more though is if you're not going to go Omen Killer Cleaver on iron, type in I would have liked to see take it. Counter argument, Impaling Thrust go Burr, killing Bale and Dancing Lion with Impaling Thrust is kind of a joke and they fall over. That's a little over dramatic. They're very challenging fights still. The damage is so high on Bale particularly, but the poise damage is quite high when Lemon gets grabbed.
It also could have been, I believe, Omen Killer Cleaver. So you have 2 sets of weapons to pick from. You have starting class, and then also because you start in round table, you have the Twin Maidens. I believe Omen Killer Cleaver was starting class, so it's possible that class stats are randomized, right? So it's possible that class had very poor stats, and as a result,
9 to wield for Omen Killer Cleaver, so you had to do all your opening.
Yeah, that's really.
Ruins would have had to gone into leveling up Omen Killer Cleaver.
That's really poor stats, right? Because -9 for Omen Killer Cleaver, that's like normally you're gonna be minus, but I think 9 is quite a lot, right? And also Iron or Typin and Lemon twinning right now as they both got grabbed in Raya Lucaria.
That's stamina management, you know. It's also depending on how the skip goes, the zombies are fun little tidbit of information. The zombies in this format, in this game mode, or in this area, are active when the elevator is. You walk into the elevator after the gate, and it starts lifting up, and the area gets loaded. But you have to quit on the skip; it messes up their entire pathing. So.
And both Lemon and Iron now, are in, or both Lemon and Typin are in on the Red Wolf of Radagon here. This is a fight.
Jump that attack that Lemon just dodged backwards.
This is a fight these players have done a lot, and they could both have +9 weapons. Their damage will be fantastic, right? But they have no health. And Red Wolf is a glass cannon of a boss, right? This is one of these things that people practice all the time, right? Especially in this league, it's so important. But very easy to make mistakes. We will go full screen with Typin here as he finishes this out, and then we'll check in on Iron now as he is fighting Makar at the current moment. Very nice job by Typin there. Let's check in on Iron. And I don't think he upgraded. I think he's +0 still.
Maybe he was required to do that to even use the weapon with Rex.
I would imagine he was required to do that because we've seen him do this Makar rush with Somber multiple times, right?
And can I interrupt really quickly? I know we love fighting the big dragon. Lemon is doing something super risky, and it's worth big screening him for, I think. We've routed that with Great Katana and Great Omen Killer Cleaver, you can do Nala without doing Margit Godric first at +9, it is faster, but there's a safety vigor that you want to get to, and Lemon has not hit the count. Like, he's going to Renala immediately after Red Wolf, grabbing the wet blade. This saves about 30 seconds or so, assuming no incidences on this part of the routing. And I just thought that was interesting to note that he's walking.
Yeah, then we
fight
will
in a very risky way.
We'll definitely make sure we'll stay here with Iron as he's finishing this out. One more bleed in a little bit should do it. And then we'll go check in with Lemon in just a second here.
Yeah, okay. This is wild. I've said to them, like, my sort of litmus test for something is worth doing is will you do it in an official game? If not, then I don't really care, right? What you're practicing off stream doesn't matter the same way on stream does. But yeah, this is awesome that he's going for it.
And Iron does that Makar down, so we're gonna go ahead and go full screen with Lemon. Typin just took care of Margit. And yeah, this is a very sketchy thing, right? Because Renala memes can happen. Very risky, but he's going for it.
And so incredibly important to note too, the magic grease is required for this route to work. Oh, it gets auto-mooned. Okay. Because you won't be able to sometimes get the holy shit, Lemon.
By the way, Speedrunner got Speedrunner weapon. Bloodhound's Fang from Makar.
Yeah.
If anyone's curious how the weapon checks work, they're randomized within their class, right? So because Makar always drops he drops the magma worm scale sword, I think it's called, or whatever. Yeah. It's a curved great sword, right? So it gets randomized in a pool with other cool curved great swords. And Iron gets Bloodhound's Fang, and I would imagine he is happy as a clam right now, and Typin probably is too, because he says, yo, my teammate has a weapon that he's amazing with. This is perfect.
Lemon is navigating this so beautifully, and my distaste for the strat is this RNG. This RNG is brutal, and is like, you know, a cold proc, for example.
And he gets the kill.
Holy shit. Yeah, I think the issue with this, and I think Jay wrote it in chat, was important, because of how bad the RNG. The nice part about having double status is that you can sometimes get lucky and proc the status when she's trying to summon, with loops her totally out of the summon rhythm, and you often will get a freebie due to that. But Lemon did not get that. He actually had a really long fight, and so I think it's not going to end up mattering too much. But fantastic job by Lemon all the same.
Yeah, and
to pull that off and handle that so well.
So Iron here is now hard rushing tunnels, and I think Cronies is going to go do O'Neal +9 and have to do a hitless. Or Nile, sorry.
I'm curious about the hope here. I wonder if what he's going to do is, because there was actually some good stone routing here.
Yeah, he could do stone routing.
And then grab the Grace and come back later.
As someone who's done a lot of hitless, or not a lot of hitless, but I've routed it, right, for AGR no hit. No, never mind, he's doing stone routing. So I lied, but Nile's very important for AGR, obviously, because that's how you get to Melania. I would not be surprised if we ever saw him go for that off rip.
I think the issue with what I don't like about Nile is there's no, unless I'm missing something, there's no castle bosses. There's no synergy here for it, and it's the square positioning. I mean, it's just a square at the end of the day, honestly. I do really like the idea of getting stones, and I was looking at something else, sorry, so I'm not sure if he actually grabbed the Grace or not. But yeah, he's going to get good routing, good stones here. He gets the warp.
Yeah, and Typin is going for, or Iron is going for the rush square here. Actually, learning from maybe a bit of a mistake, you could say. In a similar game, Sci-Fi and Typin were, Sci-Fi and Iron were both racing for tunnels, right? And because Iron upgraded after Makar and the 2 tunnels in Limgrave are so fast, Sci-Fi was able to beat him on that race. It looks like Iron here not wanting to fall victim to the same mistake twice in just going to rush tunnels +0. Oh, you upgraded and lost. Never mind. Type-in was the victor. Sci-Fi made the mistake. Unironically, kind of scary, Scaly.
Yeah. Yeah, because Psy upgraded to fully and
lost it. Yeah, I got my names confused. And okay, so all right, we're going full screen with Cronies here. There's tunnels down. Cronies did upgrade his Omen Killer Cleaver, but now he is going for, he upgraded first and now is going back into Castle Soul and going for Nile here. He has a Bewitching Branch. He will most likely have to hitless this fight with the exception of maybe some Frost Storm damage. Oh my god. How? Never mind, he doesn't have to hitless it. He doesn't have to hitless it. He just barely tanks one.
He has to hitless overwhelmingly most of it, but that's pretty insane that he took a hit at all. And our summon RNG.
Yeah, type in here Zin on Renala, so we'll go ahead and dual screen this. Very nice backstab fish. I never go for that scares the hell out of me. I never go for that backstab fish. I always just wait for the
And see what I just want to highlight real quick. What happened to Type-in is exactly why I talked about the pros and cons of the strat. Is he got 2 status procs and it actually took her out of the summoning rhythm, and he actually got a summonless fight on Type-in side. So that's very, very clean. Now he's now also in DLC. So,
Crony's got a little bit of poor RNG on that second Banish Knight.
We are seeing the Bloodhound thing pivot, by the way.
Yeah, that was expected. I don't think he had the stats to wield it right away.
It is FGMS Nexus. I get if there were castle bosses or snowfield bosses, I actually don't. I think it's a or Halley Tree medallions. There's lots of reasons to actually go. An early Nile. I don't see the value on this board as much, and I'm not worried with the risk. Cronies is going to get this. I just don't know if I agree with the strategic line. I wonder if they're going to try running row 4 as a part of the rationale for going for this early.
I also just think it's like that first big kill that it's also that first big kill that we always talk about, as well as the fact that it's just a comfort play for him, right?
Yeah, and it's less risky than getting sniped on center square, right? Because there's a lot of eye value to center square. But if I'm Cronies and I see tunnels marked, I may have pivoted to Estelle. Potentially, if I was, I'm not sure though.
In terms of, and I think Cronies would agree with me. If you told me I had to do either Nile or Estelle hitless, regardless of scaling, I'm picking Nile every time.
No, totally makes sense. The Meteor RNG, while somewhat consistent, is not consistent enough that I would want to mess around with that.
Yeah, I actually know when he was doing his all bosses. Oh, holy shit, he got He got Starfist. What is this weapon?
Oh, you know what? I forgot that that's a...
Dude, if he did that plus, yeah, he's not going to use Starfist, but that was beautiful.
Well, there's a lot of smithing.
Oh my god, but for Dagger's Fist only, Ellie, for Dagger's Fist only, yeah.
No, I forgot I forgot it was a fist check. There's real merit to I don't think you will because Omen Killer Cleaver is your weapon, but if you had a bad weapon, right, like a pretty mid or even some middling or less than ideal weapon for smithing, this could be a real pivot because there's a lot of smithing stones you can get. We get the ones we get because we know them so well, but it's not like they're the only 1, 2s, and 3s, right? We have the Liurnia Merchant, we have the Fort Height Merchant, right? There's a couple merchants to kind of make up those early stones, and then 4, 5s, and 6s are a little more flexible with with 5s being the most challenging. He honestly could go like +9 Estelle with fist only and get a double mark. I don't think he will, but he could.
And speaking of flexibility here, in smithing stone routing, we see both Lemon and Hypen doing different stone routing within the DLC. Hypen is going for the forge. This is overall slightly slower. However, you are able to get from a +9 to a +25, and you get a legendary spirit ash from it. Meanwhile, Lemon chose to go for the forts route. That is kind of the other meta DLC upgrade route, going for Fort of Reprimand, and then that gets you to +18. Finally, after that, if you want to, you have flexibility. You need to pivot to Fog Rift to get all the way to +24, or is it 23, 24, whatever, it doesn't really matter, right?
24.
Yeah, you need to pivot to Fog Rift for that, but you have the flexibility in that you get to +18 first, and you can go mark some squares, right? And then get to +24 when you feel like the time is right. So overall, that is a slightly slower upgrade route in totality, but has more flexibility.
I prefer going Forge this game because it takes you to a square, and it's only 30 seconds or so slower. And on this board, you're not killing Bale +18. You don't want to be doing, sorry, I should say, Bale +18 and Furlfinger fight at +18, the dueling Drakes fight. I also will say too, Death Knight, it makes the Reprimand route not too bad either, because the 7s are there, so easy way to do that. Otherwise, you have to go to Shadowkeep, for example. When somebody Josh asked a question about Somber Stone routing. Yep, so your 1 through 4 is our base game. Your 5s and 6s, historically, I say that because you'll in a second, behind Castle Ensis, behind the Imbued Key, there is a 5 and a 6 Somber there. But there is a 6 on the way to Hippo and the camp on the right-hand side, the Perfumer camp, so you can grab the 5 in Kaled and the 6 on the way to Hippo if you'd like. And then the Forge in Rao base, where Typin was, there is a 7, 8 outside of the Forge and a 9 inside the Forge. Or something of that nature. You can get 7 to 9 there, and then you can do up to +8 through Starfall Forge in Morth Ruins. So, tricky routing, but also cronies, well, I explained that, killed the DTS. So
yeah, this gets him a tree boss and an Altus boss.
He's moving. A Lord boss as well.
Yeah, Lord
with gold free.
Yeah, gold free is a Lord boss and a God boss in Capital. And if you're astute, you can see kind of the difference there between bingo fighting versus no hit fighting, right? Against Nile, obviously, except for the
Iron's
very start where he got unlucky. Yeah, Iron is going Estelle. So we'll go full screen with him, but at the very
bigger. What the fuck? Sorry.
Okay, all right.
You talked about Hitless between the two, and we're actually seeing what you just talked about.
Yeah,
would you
he's going for it.
Hitless Estelle. He's doing Hitless Estelle.
Yeah, because there's a big difference between the way you fight when you know that you can take a hit, right? In bingo, it is about speed, right? Of course, doing a hit, if you get the fight hitless, that is great. But we saw cronies there on DTS, like going for a punish window that he knew was risky, right? Depending on RNG. But given that he knows he can take a hit and he's trying to go fast, he went for that punish window on DTS. But if it was no hit or something, he never would have gone for it, right? And this is the RNG hell of I roll for the meteors and I pray. And his prayers were not answered. Vous avez péri.
Yeah.
I hate, that is the reason why I would hate to hitless Estelle. There is a strat that I know some of the hitless runners use where you like run, it's some weird running line type of thing that is apparently pretty safe, but
I take like a right diag, run and roll, and then I try and roll alternatively, like roll right, roll left, roll. But I'm not trying to sit here and be like, I know better than Iron. I don't. He's the incredible speedrunner and deathless runner. But I know for me that's worked a ton, and I just hope, I'm sure he has a strat that's more consistent, or maybe he's just like, well, hopefully.
Nah, it's just frame dependent. That's what it is.
Yeah, sure, certainly.
Oh, and he goes down to the jaws, and Cronies is on his ass right now. Iron will probably have one more shot at this because he's just far enough ahead. But Cronies is running through the Lake of Rot and on his ass. We see Type in there. He goes ahead and wild strikes ADM. ADM, if you have wild strikes, it's an absolute joke of a fight. If you don't, he's ADM. Ancient Dragon Man.
Yeah, I think. I wonder if Type is going to secure cookbooks for a decent square. You know, if you think Iron is going to go Estelle, I get cookbooks, right? Start building that diag. Actually, it's pretty strong, right? Then you also think about it's an underground boss. He's ahead. We know he's ahead on Legendary Spirit Ashes. But Iron needs to get this kill first before any of their plans come to light. Because,
oh,
like
and
said,
Lemon goes down there to ADM. Iron was actually ahead, or Typin was actually, I keep confusing him. Typin was ahead anyways because Lemon went and grabbed Sacred Blade for the Ghost Flame Dragons. But yeah, this is really important for Iron here. Cronies does pivot out though. I'm not sure what he's looking at.
I know he went to buy talismans as well, I believe.
He's going Crusader.
Yeah. Yeah, Crusader's not bad. It builds on their column, or it blocks the column and blocks the diag. And you know what? I wonder how heads up this is. You know, if you're Lemon, you're telling Cronies, hey, I just died to ADM, and Typin hasn't marked anything yet. It's 24 minutes. Our weapons are good. I know I'm making pace with him somewhere. Get Crusader to block a potential snipe or loss on cookbooks, right?
And Iron goes down again.
Holy moly.
Yeah, because I think that's just a heads up play, right? Because Tunnels was marked at 1340. Meanwhile, Nile was not marked until about 3 minutes and 15 seconds later.
Right.
So prepping the Grace for Estelle and then going Crusader, you guarantee yourself that you get one of those two squares, right? You may not get both, but you'll get one of the two, right? And if you're playing a more defensive position, especially due to the fact that Lemon died to ADM, it makes sense.
Yeah,
And Iron is in hell with Estelle. This is
uncharacteristic for him too, but on the other hand, he is pushing the limit pretty high. I don't think I would send like I wouldn't ask Helios to do this fight as his first fight, you know? I wouldn't be like, hey, you should go do this.
Yeah, but that's kind of the in some ways it's what's beautiful and also what's terrible about this league, right? You know, we push everyone to the absolute limit and people go for plays that they're not necessarily that are very uncomfortable, right? In an effort to win. And sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't, right? Unfortunately for Iron there, it didn't work out, but yeah, I mean, that's a tough ask of anyone.
I think here's the issue too with this. I think what he's doing, he's going Mogwin. There's like about 100k on the way up to Moog, right? In Ruins, so he could get a lot of juice that way. The trouble with that is he spent so much time dying that, and we know Cronies has the Grace. If I'm Cronies and I get Crusader with the Grace I have by Estelle, I may just send Estelle. Like, it's not marked yet, right? It's and Crusader's marked there, so like I don't know.
There's Crusader.
That's tough.
And Cronies is gonna get away with murder here.
I mean, I think to Shura's point though, it's not even murder in the sense that you want to be able to contest underground bosses, right? And like Estelle, this is still like the Dragonkin's down here. It's a remembrance. And it's center square, so there's value in a sense of being around here in case it does or doesn't get marked.
Yeah, and I guess I want to clarify. Yeah. Like, I think it's a smart play to go for Estelle. I'm just saying, given what we know, right? From his perspective, I think Estelle's marked, but given what we know, that Iron rushed it and had issues, right? Yeah, that's why I'm saying he's getting away with murder, being able to get both, right?
Yeah, and I think this is. I mean, the good thing is Typin is going Ballarat and is ahead on Bale progress map-wise, so he'll get the Tree Spirit in Ballarat, and he could get the Dancing Lion. They're going to trade Ghost Flame Dragons, potentially.
Shura thinks that if they get center square, they're gonna go bottom left to top right, Iron or Lemon and Cronies.
I think they may try. I think type in. It depends. It's gonna be hard because it's gonna be. I think it'd be a very close race. I think Lemon would have more juice from the 2 Ghost Flame Dragon kills. Also, something really cool about doing Ghost Flames early is they're actually in the pool, and the Sterling Coast Ghost Flame are 7s as well. Yeah, so I mean, I think this is probably gonna be so brutalizing for Iron when he sees this mark.
Yeah. Because Crony says he very likely could get hit here, right? It's Estelle. We've been talking about it, but he's not dying.
Don't die though.
He's like
die if he gets hit.
If Cronies were to die here, it would have to be
grab,
because
right?
of it'd have to be because of a large either multiple minor mistakes or getting grabbed or something. And if that happens to Cronies, I'd be shocked, right? Like it's kind of what's so interesting here in the base game matchup, right? We have like this speedrunner versus the no-hit guy, right? And kind of the different philosophies, right? Where I'm sure that Estelle's a more valuable square than Nile, right? Just given the positioning, of course, right? But Crony's going a little bit safer and saying, yeah, like Estelle or Nile's way more consistent, right? Well, for Iron there, I'm not sure if it was a comfortability thing or just like this is the best play if we can get it, so we go for it, right? Versus the safer play.
Let bleed.
And there goes Estelle down, and that's a brutal mark. Obviously, that's a big one for Lemon and Cronies.
Yeah,
they take a 3-2. Yeah, they take a 3-2 lead. But I do want to say, for our Bagarre FR fans, we've seen incredible comebacks. We had an 8-3 comeback the other day. This still a ton of bingo left to play, but a tough start for Iron and Typin.
You know what? They also could push. I don't think it's top, bottom, left to top, right. I think it's column 3. You're going to have Cronies with capital gold free for a Lord God boss. 2 bosses for alt, 3 bosses for Altus easily available with Morgott, gold free DTS. Lemon has done one of the 2 Ghost Flame Dragons and is now running towards High Road, and I think he's going to probably go to Fort Reprimand Grace, Skydly West Altus, to get Death Knight set up as well. And as Dagger wrote in the chat, he even could do Fist Only on Morgott. Like I think
Morgott Fist Only is very real.
Starfist in particular, very real.
With Starfist, right? Like obviously that was lucky, but hey, Iron got Bloodhound's Fang, so you know it is what it is. It's part of the game, right?
I mean, it's luck, but it's also part of the value of doing Nile. I mean, I didn't call it because I'm not a base game player, so I'm not accustomed to those checks that way. But I think it's heads up to if you want some juice and you want to snowball your game a bit, Nile also gives you a convenient way to do another square. And so there is synergy there that I just missed, and I think that's very a mistake on my end not calling that earlier. It's a very potent play.
And plus Morgott, the thing about Morgott too is like he's higher scaled, but he's squishy. Like for what he is, he's squishy. So you could go +0 Starfist with cold and it'd be fine. Like perfectly fine.
Yeah, and I know
Typing here going for the Dancing Lion, so we'll go full screen with him and get that beautiful OST on.
Lemon dying to the soldiers almost at Reprimand.
Yeah, they're setting Lemon and Cronies are really, they're playing I've been calling it dishonest bingo, right? Where you don't, I mean it's smart, it's tactical, right? Like kind of joking that it's dishonest, right? The play of, you know, prepping squares, he kills one dragon, Ghost Flame Dragon, then goes Death Knight and goes back and finishes Ghost Flame Dragons, right? it's a riskier style of play, right? But it can reap massive benefits. Increasing the probability that you can snipe your opponents is so valuable. Because if let's say Typin sees the Death Knight mark as goes down there, we'll go see with cronies here on Goldfree. But yeah, if Typin were to see the Death Knight mark and then proceed to go Ghost Flames, he's just walking into a snipe.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think for me at first, I wasn't sure, because here's the thing, and they don't know this, right? They don't know what Typin's doing, so I get this type of setup. But if Typin doesn't die there, and just, or does Tree Spirit and Belrat first over Dancing Lion, in my brain, I think, if I'm Lemon them at the Death Knight Catacomb, I just send it then, because if I see Dancing Lion or Tree Spirit and Belrat, they don't actually have a way to stop Column 3. And Lemon, unless Lemon has to play this other side of the game where he's like, well, did he also prep something? Yeah, this is going to catch them off guard in a really big way. And like we talked about, the Dagger mentioned in the chat, we're going to see Fist only, Star Fists for, looks like on Morgott potentially for cronies. Oh. So getting the God Boss and the Fist only square at the same time.
Yeah, and Typin or Iron here, God, I know the difference. I just, for some reason, I'm old.
You're not old. You just think the French are the same.
Oui.
It's sacrilege.
And Lem actually is going to finish up Ghost Flames first, actually. So he just sets up the Catacomb and then goes to finish up Ghost Flames. But Typin here going into... God damn it, I did it again. Iron here going into Shifra for underground bosses. That is quite the time sink.
Yeah, I don't like this very much. When my opponent's quiet, and if I'm, Typin, Lemon's been very quiet. He hasn't marked the square yet. We're 35 minutes in. I know post ADM self is the best play. I'm thinking Ghost Flame Dragons could be this Dancing Lion square, when you see Ghost Flames marked, it loses a lot of value to me because it doesn't give you anything on your row anymore. And I know my teammate, being Iron, has no business blocking potentially Altus bosses, God bosses right now. He's in Underground, right? Killing the Dragonkin. So, and if you're Typin, you don't have Death Knight prepped. But maybe Lemon does.
And Typin goes down again there. We're going to go full screen with cronies here as he goes for Morgott, Daggers, Fists only.
Well, weapon level. This is actually maybe +0.
No, yeah, that's +0. He has Flame Grant Me Strength and Blue Dancer and everything. He just has all the juice in his +0 with dual status. He's going to just melt. Morgott
to be fair, this is probably the few Fist weapons you could get away doing this because of the double status. And like you said, the
double status, and Morgott has no health. Like he's way underscaled in terms of health.
It's funny, I just want to say, we talked the last couple French games with them getting Death Poker, right? This how unfair it is, the speedrunning weapon. I think it's equally unfair to give a Hitless runner Starfist. I'm just gonna say it.
Oh no, I agree. I mean, I'd say it's equally unfair to give a speedrunner Bloodhound's Fang. No.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That's true. This is
no, this is not BM. This is by no means BM. This is just correct.
Going to get stones.
And cronies can do it. Like that's just another day at the office for him, right? We're gonna go full screen with Iron here, and I do want to say I think, particularly for Bagarre FR, knowing their skill set, so. If just to add to my credibility, I've been running bingo leagues for the last year and a half. I've seen a lot of players with a lot of different skill sets come in. Iron and Typin are two of the most accomplished speedrunners that I think we've ever had, the exception being Xeno, who won the initial Elden Squares event. But I feel like players who are speedrunners, particularly when they're newer to bingo, they're much more dangerous with a lead. Because when they have a lead, they feel a lot more comfortable and they can just rush down squares, right? The whole element of hiding squares and prepping stuff or whatever, like that's A, anti-speed and not in their nature, right? And B, that's just a bingo specific thing, and that's something you learn over time. You can't practice that like you can practice Moog, for example. In terms of like just sit at home, like you just have to have reps.
Yeah, it's so true actually, and it's so true. I think too, like Iron and Typin are being pushed to their limit, like we're all being pushed to our limit. I think the challenge though, with your limit being in the bingo portion of the equation, is that's a much harder limit to be pushed to and not be as comfortable with. You know, a lot of us are I know for me in particular, I really feel like I'm catching up on execution. In a lot of ways, you know, it's probably one of the things I've had to learn the most.
Yeah.
And that felt a lot easier. Like I can grind that out, right? I can sit in the boss arena and there goes Death Knight.
Yeah, because especially like you need your team. Like it's harder to get those reps in because you need your teammate. Ideally, you want to practice with your teammate, right? You know, you need people to practice. You need 3 people to practice with, right? And it's not as easy as like, hey, I got. Plus, it also takes 2 hours. It's much easier to be like, hey, I got 30 minutes right now. Let's just load up and go practice Moog, right?
Yeah, and I think the bingo because the bingo portion's so hard to get reps on comparatively. Good kill on Typin, though. Some signs of life from them there.
Yeah, there goes True Spirit and Bellorat and Mogor to Blood. That was a really nice kill by Iron. Hopefully he can get some confidence back. That it gives him an underground boss as well as a Lord boss, and potential for DLC access. Right, you need to kill any 2 remembrances to get DLC access. So that would allow him the flexibility to go help out in the DLC later. Cronies here is working on God bosses, synergizing that with Altus bosses by going for Godfroy the Grafted. Obviously, God at the start of the name. It doesn't have to be like have just literal God as a word, right? Godric, Godfroy, those count.
Yeah, and Lemon, the part when you're this ahead, right? When you're like Lemon and you have a threat so pressing, like column 3, is it gives you a lot of time to be greedy. In some ways and not in others, right? Like Lemon's gonna he's gonna do the furled finger fight right now, and you know this is a square he could easily be sniped in. Typin, I kind of agree with what Shura's writing in the chat. This should have been Typin's next play after the Tree Spirit, in terms of like strategy, but it's pretty scary in terms of board positioning.
Yeah.
And like, but for Lemon, right? It's worth almost greeting this because if he gets this square, it's over. Like the game is over. Potentially anyway. Despite I don't ever want to call it that early, but Egon's Furled Finger makes Bale pretty much over. Egon does a ton of poise damage. And then duo trio bosses with Altus bosses is being worked on. Like I'm trying to find I don't even know how you try coming back from this.
In theory, yes, that's true, right? But we literally saw yesterday, right? Shura, because of a heads up play, was able to beat Strump on Bale, even though Strump got Furled Finger, right?
That is true.
In this league, everyone's so talented, right? And the execution is so hard, and well, maybe Cronies is, but for the most part, these men, they're not machines, right? Like humans make mistakes. One mistake plus a well-timed snipe, anything can happen.
That's true. That's very true. That's very true. And I just want them to.
Plus, this is the week.
Things.
Yeah. I just, because they're also going to go for this column 4, which is very strong.
Yeah, I agree. I think they can get it pretty quickly as well. Again, like you're saying, like I shouldn't count out the Bale piece. Like there's quite a good chance that we could have Typin kill Bale without the Furled Finger. Also, yeah, Lemon navigated that pretty well. Got pretty good RNG on the Drakes, but overall, still, when he didn't, he navigated the Flames quite well, and that's going to be a mark for him in a few seconds here once he grabs the finger.
And my only question is, I just don't see why Lemon doesn't go Bale now, because he did set up Dancing Lion, so you would say I could see the argument of like, oh, pivot back for Dancing Lion.
Oh, you go Bale now for Lemon, because
Yeah.
you didn't do Forges, so you know you're behind on Legendary Spirit Ashes, and you, well, yeah, you saw Tree Spirit, so you know you're behind on Dancing Lion. The safest thing and also the most advantageous thing to build their own pressure is Bale.
Because
and Titan's in a catacomb and can't really respond to that right now yet, right? Like after this,
and also this is why it's so much easier to play with a lead, right? Particularly because I want to express again, right? Lemon and Cronies are both champions in lower leagues, right? We have multiple divisions here. We have a rookie division for brand new players, right? We have the Crucible, which has extremely talented players who just missed the cut on making the top division, and then the Golden Order, right, which is the top division here, right? Lemon is a rookie champion. Cronies is the champion of the Crucible from last season, and Iron and Typin are rookies who are playing in the Golden Order because they're incredibly talented, right? It's there's a big difference there in terms of bingo experience and board reading and all that. Plus, when you're in this advantageous position, the game is a lot simpler, right? You can just focus on playing defensively, and continuing to mark squares at a good pace. You do not have to worry nearly as much about trying to orchestrate snipes, right? Like when you're the team behind, the way back is, outside of praying for a skill issue, right, which is never what you want to do. You want to try to basically set traps on the board and predict where your opponent is going to go based on how you're marking, and beat them to it and snipe them. That's very nuanced and very difficult to do, especially for two players who are rookies, right? Just incredibly talented rookies.
Yeah, I think my hope is what I'm seeing here is I'm seeing Iron finish up. Yeah, he's going to do the Dragonkin soldiers. That'll be Dragonkins and maybe underground bosses. He's killed Estelle, one Dragonkin. Moog, yeah, this will be his 4th underground boss as well. So this Dragonkin will be a double mark for Iron, which is fantastic. And what we need to see, we need to see is Typin go Bale. And my worry is he is going too slowly.
And Lemon
he's going to set up the Hippo Grace first.
And Lemon is going Bale now. And if he gets this, it's pretty.
I'm trying to read the board to understand how you would quite come back from that. Even if you block duo trio, would they just not win by majority? Right, we're gonna see god bosses probably soon.
Yeah,
but one thing I will. Oh, go ahead.
Well, we will see what happens, but we got Bale on the screen. Curse you, Bale! I hereby vow you will rue this day. Behold, a true Drake warrior, and I, Egon, your fears made flesh. Autoscale as you might be, foul dragon, but I will riddle with holes your rotten hide with a hail of harpoons with every last drop of my being. As Lemon dies mid-speech.
You get that out of your system? You gonna do it again for the new fight? And we're gonna do that one more time, maybe?
Curse you, Bale!
Please, your throat. You have so much commentary to do.
I know,
you
I
cannot
was not
do
gonna
this.
do the whole thing.
That was good though. Yeah, I'm a little. I know it feels bleak, but I think one way they could be back in this if Typin were to go to Bale. Because Lemon died, right? So it's possible. You know, Bale's not free
Yeah.
because you have Egon. It's close to it, but it's definitely not. You know, you still have to kick and hit.
Okay, I want to clarify here because Ellie's one of the best players in the world. Period. And I mean that, right? Like, look, players in this league are cracked. Strump recently beat, and obviously one game, and you can say a lot of stuff, but like, you know, Strump beat MPT recently. Nico Tom 13-4 in a game, right? Like, these are the best players in the world. Bale is very difficult with this setup, right? You have much lower scatter than you would want. You do not have good talismans. You have a double status weapon and a summon, and Ellie just said it's free. You know,
okay, let's
put that into perspective. Yeah, we could.
If he had impaling thrust,
no. I get it from Trust me, I get it from your perspective. I just need to put stuff into reality because you know, you're thinking like a competitor, and I'm thinking like someone in chat, like, you know, I was like, I'm newer to Elden Ring, and Ellie just said this boss is free. What? Right.
Listen, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
If you're one of those folks in chat, which is okay, there's nothing wrong with that. I encourage you to grab a great katana, get the Skidoo 8, get the Furl Finger, and get Impaling Thrust and do it yourself. You'll see what happens. You just bring in a mana flask and you hit L2, and Bale just dies. Bale literally just falls over because the staggers with Egon are insane. Oh, this attack,
Bale falls over and dies as we see a 3-minute long fight here. Plus,
he doesn't have Impaling Thrust. He needs Impaling Thrust for my strat to work. It's so important. It does so much poise damage. I have a lot of me doing it this season. I will not be gaslit this way. I have proof that I did it. Where's the link? I'll get Jay to post it in chat. Anyway. No, but Lemon's handling this fight very well. It's a long fight still. You can see the damage is pretty bad. But he's doing quite well with it.
Yeah. God, I'm gonna have to make you guys play Elden Squares Season 6. Fist only. Bare fist only.
Bro, I play tomorrow night and I'm gonna get my shit kicked in.
And there goes one bingo. With God bosses, as Bale's gonna pop here, and now it's just one square away.
Yeah, I think I get, again, understandable, right? Typing didn't have the juice. I understand why he was hesitant to go Bale when he did. He was actually running, it looked like, to Bernal to get Impaling Thrust, because he's a knower. Which is something I really want to, be very clear about, is these players are, you can have a bad game, and it doesn't make you a bad player. Right? Helios and I are one loss this season. We got rolled, really badly. But I would never call Helios a bad player, and I wouldn't call myself a bad player either.
Your mic is picking up a lot of weird static. I'm not sure what's going on.
Weird static?
Yeah, you're roboting. It might be me. I can't tell if it's Discord or whatever. But yeah, I mean, also, this format's very hard. If you've seen Bingo in the past, right, this was designed with a very different philosophy. In the past, Bingo's been designed to just make Elden Ring Bingo, right? But we saw last season the caliber of players that were playing in this league. And I mean, no disrespect to any other Bingo. I'm purely talking about us, right? But our goal was to make a format that is as difficult and challenging as possible while still being competitive and still Bingo for the best players in the world, right? And that's why you see Iron and Type, and they have the most impressive win of the season. But also in another game, these things can happen. Bingo's it's really tough by design.
Yeah. Is it better now, by the way?
Yeah, it's better now. Yep.
I didn't plug my headset in.
Because I mean, I don't know about you, Ellie, but don't get me wrong, I love the tactile aspect of Bingo, but I don't know. There's something about the fear of death, right? The fear of of gambling on yourself, right? To do something incredibly difficult, right? And having the thrill of that paying off versus the the pain of it not paying off, right? That means a lot. And GG's, I did not count the sheep. I forgot that. I'll be honest, I was not paying attention. But GG's to Lemon and Crony. So it was a beautifully played game by them. It was a beautifully played game by them. A fortunate start for Iron and Typin, but that doesn't take... Lemon and Crony's played perfectly today. And you can't really take anything away from that. What, the one Bale death was the only mistake? Anything else, Ellie?
No, that was it. That was honestly the big thing. Yeah, they just played very clean. Good fights. But they did get away with quite a lot of murder. I think they had a very open season for them. So hopefully they don't get too comfortable with that, because typically not how this goes. But very GG's. I think Iron and Typing will be back as they always are. You'll know more about me if what their playoff contention looks like or not. They go to 2-4 now, I believe.
Yes.
So they're getting on the outskirts of being in that danger zone for not making playoffs, but they still have 3 games left to play. Right, 2-4. No, yeah, 3 games left to play.
Yeah, and Crony's popped off today. Crony's went crazy.
Super well.
Crony's played amazing, and Lemon played great complimentary bingo, just getting the important squares that needed to get done, right?
Yeah.
But we'll go ahead and bring our players here and talk to them for the post-match interview. Also, if you are a fan of Bagarre FR, they play again tomorrow. They have another match tomorrow if you want to watch more. It's 2 hours earlier than this game. They have another game tomorrow, but we'll bring the players in for a post-match interview here.
Oh, by the way, I branched the first guy.
GG's.
Hey, GG's.
Oh.
GG's.
GG's, everyone. That was a fantastic game. Cronies, I know you're talking about the Nile poke and how you lived on one, I assume.
Yeah.
That was insane. I cannot believe you lived. But, congratulations to you guys, Lemon and Cronies. I mean, a really perfect game from you guys. I can only think of the one Bale death. But for you in particular, Cronies, you just were on fire today. You looked like the Hitless robot that you are. In Lemon, you made all the right calls, like the way you set up Death Knight and Ghost Flames and Bale and everything was perfect. And you were able to execute the plays when you needed them. A great team win from you guys. How are you feeling?
Pretty chill.
Yeah. I feel pretty good.
We were hoping for a dry weapon seed, and we got the fucking opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the wettest weapon seed we've ever seen.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And you saw that Iron got Bloodhound's Fang from a car. He used that. So Speedrunner got speedrun weapon, and you got, granted only for one fight, but you got your Starfist on Morgott from Nile, right?
Yeah.
I'm curious, did you think about the fact that that's a fist check when you were going for that square initially?
Yes.
Yeah, that was half of why I wanted to do it.
Very fair, because Ellie and I forgot. We were like, I don't know how much I like Nile here because it doesn't get you anything else. Maybe I was like, it's just a comfort play or whatever. And then you got Starfist, and I was like, oh, he's a genius.
Yeah, my thought was that I still think there are stronger openers, but I mean, it didn't matter anyway because it worked out really well for you. Obviously,
We went
Starfist
through all
was an
the
incredible
openers,
pull.
and we like that one the most.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
It gives you good ruins, right? I think. Yeah, I'm going to get into semantics. Doesn't matter. You guys played very well.
Yeah.
Lemon, I had a question for you because you were quiet on the board for so long. One of my big questions for you is if Typin marked Dancing Lion or Ballarat Tree Spirit as you were running towards the Death Knight Catacomb, would you have just sent Death Knights then? Would you have felt like, yeah, okay.
Yes.
That's what I said in the commentary. Why? Can you explain why you would do that? Instead of doing what you did do, which is double prepping and stuff. I think there's real strategy there that you did that's important to kind of go through.
I do the first Ghost Flame for 7s, and he marks cookbooks, which just tells me he's not working on Ghost Flames, so I'm good to not finish it. And I go and I prep Ballarat because it gets me the Ghost Flame Grace, it gets me closer to Ballarat because there's 2 squares there. If he were to have full sent Death Knight, I think it would have been marked when I was grabbing the Grace. It wasn't, so I'm like, cool, probably not here, or he's fucking up, and I'm walking into a snipe. So I grab the Grace, I leave. If he was doing Ghost Flames after cookbooks, I probably lose it. I don't think it would have taken that long, so I fucked up a little bit there. But yeah, I just finished Ghost Flames to cover my bases and go back to Death Knight.
Okay, that makes sense. That's kind of what I was thinking too. Yeah, that was well done.
Yeah.
That was well done for sure.
And for you guys, first off, I hope hopefully after 2 great games this weekend, you guys don't want to drop anymore. Thank you for that heart
Is it
attack
on the
again.
table?
Shut up.
Bro,
Oh, one last question. Sorry, Cronies, that was +0 for Starfist, eh? Because somebody asked in the chat, is that bad mannered? And we had to explain, like, he has Flame grant me strength,
And
double status Starfist,
Blue Dancer,
and
yeah.
Blue Dancer and Rotten Wing. He's like, you gave a hitless runner everything they needed to do what they need to do. So that was +0, right? The Morgott kill?
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
plus
okay.
0.
It
Yeah.
didn't look like
I can
it for the initiated, but
Yeah,
Morgott's weak.
I've routed half of RO1 +0 no hit, and Starfists are just busted. So like I knew Morgott would just fall over. Like you have so
Yeah.
much poise and just honestly damage that it doesn't matter.
yeah, for sure. You showed that today very well.
Yeah. And
Thank you.
obviously, so I know you guys moved to 4-1 with 4 games left on the season, right? Going into next week, 2 big games. You got Sirius and the Crash, the Rookie Rumble rematch from the semifinals there, with Lemon and the Crash, and then obviously if both you guys and Helios and Ellie, obviously those first 2 games are to be determined. Ellie's game tomorrow and your first game on Friday next week. But then you have a matchup with Ellie and Helios that could potentially be for a first round bye. And Ellie's right here on co-commentary. Any words?
I've told Ellie before, we don't win a straight up game, so I've been looking for ways to just cheese my way through that one.
Yeah.
I think this game, it made me so much more comfy with the full Renala rush, which I know she doesn't do, so that's my cheese.
I have next week, buddy. We don't play it for another week. You don't think I'm practicing that today? I got time before today and tomorrow. I'm practicing.
No, my
Rush
Renala's
next
better.
week.
It's okay.
It
That's
is
okay.
better,
You can
but it's-
practice it, and I will beat you on it. It is all right.
We'll have to see next week. I hope you get mooned and tank it and die. That's what I hope happens.
I got mooned
next week.
twice, and I stood under it twice, and I tanked none of it, so that's all right. I don't need to tank it.
Well, GG's to you guys. Congratulations on the win. I do want to talk with Iron and Typin. First off, I want to say we had a lot of French supporters here. It was absolutely fantastic to see the French community here cheering you guys on. I think that was a very definitely a tough one for you guys, particularly like Iron, that first Estelle, the meteors, you just got so unlucky.
Yeah, just Astel as a whole gave me really, really, really bad attacks. Like he did in another fight, he did the double swipe. He kept spamming like darkness waves. It was just horrible. Honestly, if I get this Astel square, it's just not the same game. Once I lose this Astel square, it's just kinda kinda difficult to come back from that, because I didn't really have anything else prepped. I don't remember if I had. I don't think I did. So yeah, I should have done the opposite of what I did. So I should have went first for Morg, so that I could grab the 60k, the two runes, so that I can get health. Then go to Astel and get it. Then do Morg and finish Lord versus. That's what I should have done. Because getting one shot on every single attack of Astel is just too punishing when.
Well, meteors
so,
in particular, right? Like meteors.
Yeah, because the
run was
first
so clean, and then meteors happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, and after you die to that, like you're on tilt, like you're obviously rightfully so annoyed, right? Because meteors just feels like RNG, right? But regardless, you guys are still an incredibly talented team, and you're doing yeah, it's really tough, right? Because you're playing against people who have been playing bingo for a year, right? Like, yeah, I to be honest, I didn't think any team ever would be talented enough to just walk in and, you know, be in the golden order no matter who they were, right? Obviously, you guys, we saw how well you played in the preseason, have played so far this season, right? And you've broken the mold on that. So I do want to just remind you like how great you guys are, and you guys have another game tomorrow against Dino and Deutz. Any word from you guys on how you're feeling going into that one?
Well, after that one, I'm not saying that Lemon Crony didn't play well, not at all, but I feel like I could have done so much better this game, so I'm a bit bummed out, but I guess I'll practice for tomorrow. We'll see how it goes.
Hey, short-term mentality, right? You're you know, and I'm sure you'll be ready to go tomorrow. And number one thing, if you feel bummed out, just remember that you absolutely kicked my ass on seed 2 in Randocalypse. So yeah, you'll bounce back. You'll bounce back for sure.
I hope so.
Yeah, I think you guys will. I think, you know, I one thing I was kind of curious about this game too. I was wondering, type in after the game kind of was calling through his bingo marked. I saw you were running to Bernal, assuming you grab Impaling Thrust, but you did Hippo first. Was there a particular reason that you didn't just send Bale right away? 'Cause it kind of felt like one of your only outs as a team, with Dragonkins being marked as well, and it could have very much been a double bingo board and go from there. But I kind of want to. I assume you have reasons for that, so I'm curious what those are.
Yeah, I should have went for Aegon Scarlet Finger way before that, and but then I was like, if I can't, even if I get the bingo, if I can't get hippos or other square, we lose anyway. So I was hoping for something else, but yeah.
Yeah.
No, I just played
sense.
better. I think I played the squares, the wrong squares. Overall.
That is hard. It's a hard call to make, and I think you guys did the best you could with what. Again, with I really liked what you ended up doing, right? Where you went underground to grab the extra money and income from.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, I wish you did this earlier in my brain.
Yeah,
really
that's
good,
what I
and
should have done.
It's 100K, right? It's a lot of money. It's a lot of runes, and it would, yeah, it's hard though, right? Now you know, right? Setup is still important.
No, I know.
But it's hard. It's hard.
Well, GG's everyone. GG's. It was a pleasure to call the game. Thank you guys so much for playing. And Ellie, thank you so much for joining me here. And of course, it was great to have you back in the booth. I'm sorry it was only one game, but thank you also for your flexibility with that.
Of course.
And we are going to take a short break here, and then we will be back for our next game. The Crash in Sirius versus Dino in Deutz. And then I will be joined with Sci-Fi for co-commentary. But make sure to be here early. We have another pregame show from Jay, who knows what he might do. So make sure to be here early. Make sure to stay around for the early pregame show. And then we will be ready to go for that. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. Would not be the same experience without all the community. You guys are all the best. If you want to get into bingo or rando or any type of competitive thing, we'd love to have you in Ignite and help coach you and teach you and learn from you, etc. And thank you so much. We'll be right back.